Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to turn this into a badge holder that looks like this. So I have these acrylic blanks and I have them in all different shapes, all over 1.5 inches, tall, wide, size, whatever. So I have a bunch of them already ready. And by ready, I mean I have the paper off of one side of them. So this side is clear and this side still has the brown paper covering it. I like to leave the paper on one side while I do this so that I don't get any epoxy on the other side. But I did leave one totally covered so that I can show you how I get that paper off. There might be a better way, but this is what I do. I take my little hook. This is also what I use for weeding. Let me just lower this so you can see it. And I just, start from the bottom, and just make a little cut. There's probably a better way to this because I think this is such a pain in the butt. Okay, so the paper's off of one side, so now we are ready. So I have some already mixed epoxy sitting, and I just want it to get really thick, and it's not quite at the thickness that I want it at, so I'm gonna pop it in front of my heater for a second and let that thicken up a little bit more. And while that's thickening, I'm gonna show you how I finish the badge holders. So this is one that I made the other night, and I'm just gonna put the decal on. So I already have the decal cut, and this is about 1.2 inches. I used the Vine monogram for this one. I have the transfer tape on it, so I am just using my squeegee and getting the tape adhered really well. And then peel it apart. Move this closer, can you see? And line it up, and I push down on one corner and then I spread out from there. Okay, squeegee it on. And then I peel the tape off. And I save this little piece of tape, so I just hang it off the table like that. So this is now ready for clear epoxy to go over it so that that vinyl won't ever peel. I'm gonna set that. I have this little tray that I'm using. It's just a cardboard box. That way I don't get epoxy on anything important. This Italian place around the corner from us gives you your takeout order in those cardboard boxes. And I save them and I use them for this. And when they get really gross, I throw them away and start again. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing with a different monogram. So this one is not a script. This is just a print. And then I have this red one ready to go. Okay, same thing. I press in a corner and I spread out from there. Okay, and a little squeegee. And same piece of transfer tape. I have not thrown it away. I use it until it doesn't stick anymore. Okay, I have one more monogram to do. And for this one, it's on a pretty pink. Okay, so that one was not centered. So I hadn't pressed it down yet, so I just picked it right back up and I can do it again. Okay, now it's centered, so I press the corner and I spread out. Okay, so these three need some clear epoxy on it just to seal that decal. You could have it finished just like this, but I like to seal the decal so that it doesn't peel up and it just lasts longer. So we'll get them out and we'll put them here. And then I'm gonna get some glitter ready. That epoxy is still not thick enough. I like it to sit for about 10 minutes, and it's probably been 5. I am gonna get some glitters ready to mix in them, and then I'm also going to get the badge holder and show you how I attach that. So everything I use there will be a link to in the comments or in the description of the video. But I have this badge holder and it comes like this. So I just test it first and I fold this up and clasp it. The first few times you clasp and unclasp, it'll be like a little difficult. That's normal. You just want to make sure that it does. Clasp and unclasp, great. Then I make sure this retracts. And you never pull this as far as it can go because it will get stuck that way. I make sure this clips and I make sure it swivels. Everything's great. So now I want to show you why I don't dry them this way. So I don't glue it and then set it like this, because can you see the angle that that's at? This will slide off and it will dry wrong. I don't know if you can see that. So that's how it would dry. We don't want that, obviously. We want it to dry correctly. So this is the one that's ready to go. We need some E6000. I normally have a really big tube of it, but I don't see it. So I'm just gonna use the one that's right here next to me. I use E6000, and I'm just gonna put it on the back. Okay. The big tubes are much easier to use. See if we can get a little more out of that. I keep the little ones for if I have to do like detail work. But I really like the big ones. So I have it on there kind of in the center, but I'm gonna add just a little bit to the badge holder in the center too. Put the lid back on. Okay, so then I wanna find out how I wanna line it up. I just stuck it on there and now I'm just kind of swirling it to get it exactly how I want it and perfectly straight. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, so when I get it how I want, I press down but not all the way because you don't want all the glue to come out the back. Okay, and then I'm gonna lay it just like that to dry so that it dries nice and even and flat. But I am just gonna move this over to my little drying cardboard box. Okay, still not as thick as we want, but by the time I get everything mixed, it'll be ready. So I take a few medicine cups. And I'm just gonna pour some in. So you don't need much. This will make quite a few badge holders. Should be good. Let me get some gloves. Sometimes I use gloves, sometimes I don't, but every time I don't use gloves, I always, always, always regret it. Let's see what colors we want. Okay, I'm gonna mix these two into one. I've got a really pretty chunky black, but I wanna mix with a fine black. Perfect. And let's see, we need at least one more, maybe 2 more colors to mix up. Let's see what we've got. This is the hardest part, I think. Just choosing a color. Oh, this one's really pretty. I don't know if you can see I'm in my pajamas. Y'all don't mind that. Okay. Let's see, one more. Oh, I can turn the heater off. What color should we do? Maybe a nice pink. Let's see, I did fluorescent pink the other day, so I'm looking for something kind of different. I'm not finding what I want. What about a baby pink? I need something else to go with that. Baby pink, baby pink. Okay. I'm going to start with the pink because that has the most parts to it. I have 4 different things I want to mix into that. But real quick, before I do the pink, I'm just going to use some clear epoxy and cover the vinyl that we put on there. So I just pour it around. And again, this is not as thick as I would like it to be, but it will continue to thicken as we work and we don't want to waste it. So I do need to get started. And I'm just using a coffee stirrer that comes in bulk on Amazon, very cheap, to move it all around. I've seen people use like swizzle sticks. That's genius. I've got to get one of those. I have this giant box to work through. But when I run low, I will definitely be getting that instead. I'm just making sure I bring this out to the sides all around. And then I just need to move my finger placement and make sure I got the sides good where I was holding it. Perfect. And then I lay it flat to dry. Okay, we'll do it again with this one. You don't need much to do this. It takes very little epoxy. I always end up over mixing. It's a bad habit. So I try not to waste it, and I normally have silicone molds nearby so that I can use whatever I mixed and make a magnet or a set of earrings or something like that. I don't know if we'll get to that today, but if we do, I've got some right behind me. I didn't realize that I did not have music on. And now all I can hear is my breathing. Okay, so all of the ones that needed a clear coat are done. So now I'm gonna mix some colors into this epoxy. Actually, I'm going to end this video and I'm going to start a new one.